John Doody of the Gold Stock Analyst joins me on the spot. Joining me now from Fort Lauderdale is John Doody. Thanks for joining us again, John.
Always glad to bring a little warmth to the Montreal audience.
And next week we'll be headed to Fort Lauderdale to cover your Gold Stock Analyst Day. We'll get to that in a bit, but first, let's talk gold. John, you've been on our program multiple times. You've always been a strong believer in the yellow metal, feeling that it will go higher. Now, when I interview analysts that are more bearish, however, they suggest that gold cannot go higher because macroeconomic conditions will improve in the U.S. Now, if we look at the testimony provided by Yellen on Tuesday, she was suggesting that tapering will continue no matter what, and it's not contingent on unemployment numbers. Does this concern you, John?
No, it doesn't, because even though they're tapering, they're still putting more money into the system. They're buying more bonds, and there's no escape. They're at $4 trillion balance sheet at the Fed now, and there's no way out. The way that they're going to get out of that huge balance sheet position is to let it run off. In other words, let the debt get repaid over the next 25 years, and so it'll be slowly withdrawn. But over 25 years, who cares? The fact is that the economy is limping along. The happy faces on the various business channels like to talk about how the S&P and the Dow are up. The S&P is down year to date. Through yesterday, the S&P is down to 1.5%. The gold is up several percent. The XAU is up 17%. And our top 10's up 44%. So the happy faces are just they're talking their book. That they're fully invested in normal stocks, which is fine, but they're not capturing the gains that are possible out there. And while there's certainly ups and downs in the gold market, there's ups and downs in all markets too. And for this millennium, the last 13 years of this millennium, we're up over 600% for the GSA top 10 versus the S&P up 45%. So you got to be willing to stick it out for the downs, because nobody's nimble enough to get off the dance floor when the downs start coming. But the result is and has been for the last 13 years that gold has been the place to be. So, John, is it a correct assessment to say that gold is still acting as a safe haven today? Well, it certainly is so far this year. It did not last year. I mean, last year was the period of time when everybody who was interested in gold left the party. They left early, and while we had lots of subscribers complaining all last year about, God, my portfolio is getting killed, blah blah blah. This year they're all retracting those statements and sending congratulations. Thanks for staying with us. Thanks for keeping me in the game and whatever, because they're killing the general broad. So if we look at today's gold movement, John, this Wednesday, gold hitting 1292 is the next level. We're eyeing 1300. I guess, I'm not really a minute follower of gold, and I look at the broad strokes. We certainly can go higher. We're not. There's a lot of mines that aren't profitable or aren't earning a reasonable return at 1300. So I think over time the metal is going to go higher. We're still using 1,500 for our target pricing for the stocks for this year. And when you say 1,500 gold, John, is that 3 months, 6 months? What timeline? Well, it's sooner than the end of my life, and certainly by the end of the year. Okay, John, now if you look at silver, last time you beautifully coined that silver is like gold on steroids, but some analysts I've been speaking to are a bit disappointed in the metal's performance these days. Are you? Well, we always say never more than 20% of your portfolio in silver, and so it's not the major position, and we see it as a derivative of gold. It should be doing better, no question about it. But to an extent, it's an industrial metal, and to the extent that it is, it gets and the economy is not doing well. There's not a huge amount of demand or an increased demand for silver. John, that's all the time we have for today. But as mentioned at the start, we look forward to coming down to Fort Lauderdale next Sunday to cover your Gold Stock Analyst Day. What can we expect? Well, we've got the top people from the 15 recommended companies. That's the 10 gold, top 10 stocks, and the 5 favorite silver stocks. Top guys are coming, like the keynote speaker is Pierre Lassonde, a legend in the gold business, and top guys from the various companies that we recommended.
And it's a really great show, John. I was there last year, and it gives you an opportunity to really speak one-on-one with them.
And you will be too, I'm sure, in your interview.
Absolutely, John. Thanks so much for joining us on The Spot.
Okay, great.
And thank you for tuning in. You can email us at newsfeedback@kitco.com or follow me on Twitter at Daniela Cambone. Thanks for watching.